Kamaal, and I want to welcome you to Secrets of the Double Veil Volume 1. Today we're going to cover a number of topics: what materials to use, what veils to use, how to choose the shape. We're going to cover a number of separations, we're going to cover a number of movements, wraps, and by the time we're finished, you should have a good basic working knowledge of double veils that you can use in performance. Okay, we're going to start with materials and shapes of veils. Okay? The first thing you want to know is that today we're going to work only with lame. Okay? I prefer lame because it floats a little easier, it looks a little more dynamic than silk, and if you're just learning, lame is a lot easier to use than silk. Okay? So today we're going to start with lame veils. There are two basic shapes. You can use a half veil or you can use a 3/4 veil. These are half circles. Okay? Straight across the top edge, and the bottom edge is rounded out. All right? It's a complete half circle, and sometimes I even elongate the center to make them a little bit longer, but the edges are always rounded out. Okay? Then we have the 3/4 veils. Now, 3/4 veils are a full 3/4 with a V of a pie shape in the center, which is where you're going to be working, okay? So that when you're spinning with the 3/4 veil, it wraps almost entirely around you. The next topic we're going to cover is armholes, okay? A lot of people have trouble working with the double veil because they hold their arms wrong. Very specifically, when you're holding the veils, you want your arms almost outstretched but not quite, so that you can hold the veil directly under your chin. From behind, you have a slight crook in your arms, okay? And from front, it looks taut, and if you hold your arms out straight, it's right under your chin. The mistake a lot of people make is they'll hold their arms way out here. If you do this, you're going to lose control of the veils. Another mistake people make is they hold it too close in. If it's too close in, when you turn, you have no control of the veils. Once you have your arms in place, the next thing you have to consider is how to hold the veils with your fingers. You've got to be able to manipulate the top and the bottom veil, and to do that, you have to use your fingers almost like chopsticks. Okay? You're going to be using your thumb, your index finger, and your middle finger. Okay? The thumb will go on the bottom of the veil. The index finger will hold that bottom veil in place. The top veil is then put on top of the index finger and held in place with the middle finger, so that you have a grasp with 3 fingers. You do that to either side of the veil. You taut the veils, pull them out, and then get your arms in place. This will allow you to manipulate the top and bottom veil, and it will also allow you to slide between the veils and then re-grasp the veils. Whenever you release the veils, you're always going to re-grasp the veils by putting your index finger between the 2 veils, lightly grabbing the top and the bottom with your thumb and your middle finger, and then readjusting so that you're back in place. I'll do this with the right hand. You can release the veils, then you're going to put your middle finger between the veils, lightly grasp with your thumb and your middle finger, and slide down the veils. And again, reposition the veils. This is what you have to get used to while you're spinning. It's actually very easy. It just takes a little bit of practice. What you have to also get used to is releasing the top or the bottom veil. In other words, there are movements that are going to require you to release the top veil to let it float on its own. To do that, you're going to release your middle finger, and the top veil will drop away, but you're still holding the bottom veil. Let's readjust, slide between the 2, get them back in place. Now, there are places that you're going to want to release the bottom veil, but leave the top veil in place. So I'm going to maintain my hold on the top veil using my middle finger and my index finger, and release the bottom veil by pulling my thumb away. I've successfully dropped the bottom veil, but have maintained my hold on the top veil. Practice this as often as you can, because you're going to need to do this with both hands. You're going to release the bottom veil, but hold the top veil. You're going to release the top veil, but hold the bottom veil. And again, the thing that you really must get used to in practice is sliding your fingers between the veils, because this will allow you to reposition and get the veils back in place while you're dancing. When you're doing the double veil, the most important part of it is the spinning. This causes some people a lot of problems, and the reason being is that they're not turning correctly. There's a right way to turn and a wrong way to turn. And unfortunately, in this one instance, spotting does not work. If you're spotting, you're stopping to look at an area. And when you do this, you lose momentum and the veils lose lift. And you're going to get a very uneven movement, or you're going to lose the veil lift almost entirely. The proper way to turn is to lean into the turn and just keep the spin smooth. Would be doing like this. The wrong way to turn is to do a paddle turn, and that is what you'd be doing if you were spotting. Okay? It would look like this. Usually when I see someone doing this, they are not doing the veils properly. You don't want to spot, and you don't want to paddle turn. You want a smooth, consistent spin, leaning into the direction of the spin. Here's a demonstration of what we're looking for. The faster we spin, the veils will lift. The slower we spin, they're going to lower. We'll do a simple separation, and we're going to spin fast. We're going to slow down, and then go to lower. The next section we're going to discuss are levels with the veils. This works in conjunction with the speed that you're spinning. We want to start with the lower area, which will be down by the feet and the knees. The next level will be the hip area. The next level will be the shoulder area. And the next level will be above the head. I'm going to do a demonstration of the different levels. I'll start by doing a very simple separation, and then I'll work from mid-level to the floor and then back up again. Starting with this little separation. We have the mid-level, which is the waist level. We're going to slow down to floor level, speed back up, shoulder level, and then above the head. Lower, upper, lower, and upper. In this section, we're going to discuss how to separate the veils. In most instances, you're going to be spinning when you're separating the veils, and in one instance, you're going to be standing still. The first separation is called a posed separation, and you'll be standing in one place while you do this without spinning. Let me demonstrate. You're going to walk back, let the veils float. You're going to drop the veil, the upper veil, from your right hand. You're going to drop the lower veil from your left hand, and you're immediately going to go to a spin. This posed separation is going to be demonstrated by Anahí. Next separation is a slice separation. This comes from a spin. What you're going to be doing is, while the veils are floating around you, you're going to release both veils from your right hand. You're going to reach across with your right hand grab the top veil between your thumb and your index finger, release the top veil with your left hand, and slide the top veil across the bottom veil. I'll demonstrate this so that you see what it looks like. Reaching across, grabbing the top veil, and separating the veils. This is a slice separation. Your next separation is a vortex separation. This movement is done while spinning, and what you're going to do is, while you're spinning with your left hand about waist level or a little bit higher, you're going to release the veils from your right hand. Then you're going to reach across with your right hand and hook your thumb under the top veil. You're going to lightly put pressure on your thumb with your index finger and slide your fingers up the top veil. Let me demonstrate what this looks like. This is a vortex separation. The final separation comes from the vortex, and it's called a drop separation. What's going to happen with this is, while you're in your vortex, with your right hand above the veils, you're simply going to release the top veil from your left hand and let the veil float behind you while you're spinning. Let me demonstrate this. Going into the vortex, then drop separating. This is the final section, the section in which we're going to apply movements to the separations that we've just learned. The first of these movements is called the chase. What we're going to do is take our veils. We're going to get into a spin. The veils are going to be dropped entirely from the right hand, and we're going to reach across with our right hand and grab the top veil between the thumb and the index finger. We're then going to slide the veils away. Once the veils are separated, we're going to do a simple movement. We're going to bring our arms together so that our fingers touch, and then we're going to pull our left hand away. Again, we're going to bring our arms together, and then we're going to pull our left hand away. This is done while you're spinning, and the result is going to look like this. Separate the veils first, pull together, separate, pull together, separate, pull together, separate, pull together, separate, pull together, separate. And there, you have your chase. The next movement is called angel wings. What we're going to do is separate our veils and get them floating around our body. We're going to slow down so the veils hit the floor. Then we're going to speed up slightly so they come up, and then gradually we're going to slow down so they float back to the floor. Let me demonstrate. Get the veils moving. Then we're going to separate. Now we go into the angel wings. This next movement is called a corkscrew. And what we're going to do here is get into our spin, and we're going to release the veils from our right hand. Then we're going to reach across our body, grab the top veil, slide the top veil across the bottom veil. As we do this, we're going to take our left hand and pull it up so that it is diagonal with the top of our head. What this looks like is a corkscrew wrapped around your body, starting from above your head, down behind you. Let me demonstrate. Our next movement is a tulip. And what's going to happen here is we're going to separate our veils and have them float up to our sides. Then we're going to lift the veils so that our hands are diagonally above our head, creating a tulip around our body. What you don't want to do is pull your hands directly over your head. This will cause the veils to wrap around your body and get angled. So what you're going to do is keep your hands directly, diagonally up to your sides above your head. Let me demonstrate this movement for you. Get the veil spinning and separate. Increase your speed slightly as your hands come over your head, and you have tulip. Our next movement is probably the most difficult movement there is. It's called a cartwheel. What we're going to do are separate the veils and have them float out to either side of our body. As we're doing our spin, we're gradually going to turn our body at an angle. This is the only time you'll be spotting. You're going to look at one area, and as you're looking at that area, you're going to bring the veils up and down over your head. Let me demonstrate what this looks like. Get the veils out to the sides of your body, and the next movement is going to look very familiar, as it is also one of our separations. It's called the vortex. From the vortex, you go directly into what's called a reverse vortex, which is simply doing the same movement, only stopping very briefly and turning in the other direction. I'll review this movement with you, and then we'll go over the reverse vortex. As you recall, you get your veils spinning and you drop them from your right hand. Reach across, grab the top veil with your thumb and your index finger, and slide the veil up. Here we've gone into a vortex. Now simply pause, reverse direction, and you have gone into a reverse vortex. The veils float around your body doing the reverse vortex. Now, pause again, head in the other direction, and you've returned to the vortex. next movement is called flamenco skirts. And what this movement is from a spinning movement, we're going to reach one veil across our body and grab both veils in our left hand. While we're spinning, we're going to slow down until the veils are completely wrapped around our body. While we're doing this, our left hand is gradually going to come behind our body. When we're finished, the veils will be emulating a skirt around our feet. To get out of this, we're simply going to slowly turn in the other direction, pull our hand out, pick up speed until the veils are floating around our body again. Let me demonstrate. From a separation, the veils are joined together, and we are slowly going to come to a stop while our left hand comes behind our body. To get out of this, we reverse direction. Gradually, we spin out of it a little faster, pick up speed until the veils are floating again. This next movement is called a roller coaster, and it again comes from veils riding around our body. What's going to happen with this is we're gradually going to switch the height of our arms as we spin. This is going to give the veils the illusion of going up and down like a roller coaster. Let me demonstrate this for you. Our final movement today is called the step. This is a movement that is done basically standing still, but frames head movements, bust movements, and stomach movements. It starts with both veils in your hands, and what you're going to do is separate the top veil from the bottom veil in your left hand. You're going to take the veils in your right hand and pass it through. While you're passing through, you're going to wrap the top veil on top of your head. This frames your head. At this point, you're going to do your head movements. Then you're going to drop it slightly and do your bust movements. Then you're going to drop it further and do your stomach movements. Once you've finished this, you're going to drop the veils entirely, very low to the floor, step through, and float the veils behind you. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you all got some good information on doing your basic double veil. I thank my guests Anahi, Siwa, and Anja for joining me and demonstrating for you. I think you all got some good basic information today on doing a double veil. Remember, doing a really good double veil requires doing a lot of spinning. So go home, practice, take it out there, work with it, and enjoy it. Thank you for being with me.
Thank you.